Everyone knows the places change, but it's not very often when the speed of that change is so fast that you can see it happening right before your eyes. Chatsworth Road in East London is one of these rare places that has changed at an incredible speed. In the last 2 years, at least 1/4 of the shops along the street have changed hands, and over 1 planning application has been lodged every month in the last year. We've seen some amazing shops close down, and we've seen other great ones open up. New types of people have been moving into the area, with more spending power, and property prices have risen by nearly 40% in the last 5 years according to some sources. The types of property in the surrounding area has been changing. Large family houses are being converted into small one-bedroom flats, and shops and pubs are under pressure to be converted into housing. As if all this wasn't enough, one of the biggest developments in Europe, the 2012 Olympics, is happening just down the road. And this won't stop once the Olympics is finished. One of the biggest urban shopping malls in Europe is being built, a multiplex cinema, over 10,000 new homes, and a number of major sports venues. Now, a lot of this change is good, as it brings money and people into the area. But if it goes unmanaged, we risk undermining the very things that make the neighbourhood attractive in the first place. Now, the worrying thing is that there's very little in place to manage this change. There is no place-specific planning policies. While some areas in the borough have detailed area action plans to guide development, this area doesn't. And with the plethora of cuts happening in government at the moment, it's unlikely that this type of policy will be developed anytime soon. But not only because of these cuts, but because we are undergoing what some have called the biggest changes to the planning system in 60 years, with the introduction of the Localism Bill. On the one hand, the changes proposed will make it even easier for development to happen. But on the other, it will be transferring responsibility to local communities and giving them the power to create their own planning policy. Chatsworth Road serves an area of around 160 hectares, with approximately 20,000 people in it, in 8,000 households. The area is defined by distinct boundaries of Lea Bridge Road to the north, Lower Clapton Road to the west, Homerton High Street and Homerton Road to the south, and the Lea Navigational Canal to the east. Chatsworth Road sits right in the middle of this area, with about 7,000 square meters of ground floor retail, or just over 80 shops. In this area, there's over 15 hectares of potentially great parks, not to mention the amazing Hackney Marshes to the east. There's a great distribution of health, educational and community facilities throughout the area. All of this pretty much within a 10-minute walk from its local centre, Chatsworth Road. It's for these reasons that the Chatsworth Road Traders and Residents Association have decided to create a neighbourhood plan for the area. A plan that will establish a clear vision for the neighbourhood, to communicate how the community want their area to change in the future. A plan to preempt and influence change, so that the community can take a proactive role in the developments that are happening in the area and be in a stronger position to support or object different initiatives. A plan that will promote the area and attract investment, to change the things that everyone knows already need changing. So how does one go about creating a neighbourhood plan? Firstly, the community needs to establish a few high-level aspirations for the area, guiding principles of how the place should and shouldn't change. Then each aspiration can be broken down into a number of projects that will help make that aspiration a reality. And it will be the combination of lots of little projects guided by these high-level aspirations that will form the essence of the neighbourhood plan. Based on our research, we've come up with a number of examples of what these aspirations could be and the types of projects that could come from them. We've come up with 5 aspirations in total: local, diverse, accessible, sustainable and distinct. Local, in that we might aspire our neighbourhood to support the local economy by prioritising local people and local businesses. Because local independent shops keep the money in the community. And although the neighbourhood is part of a bigger city, it has its own microeconomy that both residents and businesses have a long-term interest in sustaining. Under this aspiration, we could develop a Chatsworth Road loyalty card to encourage people to buy from local shops and give them competitive advantage over larger chains. We could promote the idea of a Chatsworth Road grain and object to the conversion of multiple shops into one, This would discourage chains that usually need larger footprints and would ensure we continue to have a good quantity of shops along the street. The second aspiration could be diverse, so our neighbourhood will embrace a diverse range of people and uses, because we don't want the neighbourhood to become a middle-class enclave, nor a ghetto, but a place where people of different ages, races and cultural backgrounds feel at home at. And we need a diverse range of uses, so the neighbourhood doesn't become a dormitory neighbourhood where people commute away from, but a mixed-use area with a diverse range of activities working through different times of the day and the week. We're already in the process of reintroducing Chatsworth Road Market, which will increase the diversity of shopping choices. Can we create a strategy for temporary use of vacant buildings? Maybe starting with this council-owned toilet that has been lying empty for years. What else could it be? Our third aspiration is accessible. Our neighbourhood will be easy and safe to get around, by foot, bicycle, car and bus, for the able and for the less able. We could turn one parking space in each block into a place to park bicycles to encourage people to cycle instead of drive. Or we could improve the signage from surrounding areas such as Hackney Marshes, Homerton Hospital and Lower Clapton Road, so people know how easy it is to get to Chatsworth Road. The fourth aspiration is sustainable. Our neighbourhood will aim to minimise its ecological footprint. Now we all have to do this on a national level, on a city level, but also at a neighbourhood level. We could look into removing the one-way systems on residential streets to reduce the distance and speeds that cars drive through the area, reducing the emissions as well as making the area more accessible, or at least allow contraflow cycling to encourage more people to get around by bike. We could look into ways of improving the collection of recycling so that lorries don't have to go to every single household and wait for the recycling to be sorted, holding up traffic and decreasing emissions. Maybe we could have recycling points on the corner of every street rather than every single household. The fifth and last aspiration is distinct. Our neighbourhood will have a distinct identity, differentiating itself from other neighbourhoods in London, because a great neighbourhood needs to have its own individual character and not be a clone of other great places. To do this, we could create design codes for shop fronts, maybe informed by the historical context, or create a public art strategy for the blank gables of buildings along Chatsworth Road. So these are just some suggestions for high-level aspirations and the types of projects we could look at encouraging. We can stick to them, change them or scrap them altogether. The important thing is that the community is behind whatever aspirations we decide on. Because for a plan to be worth more than the paper it's printed on, we need everyone to get involved. The more the community are involved in shaping this plan, the more political weight it will have. So spread the word. We need to play a proactive role in the shaping of our neighbourhoods, and creating a neighbourhood plan is only the start.